Good afternoon, everyone. And I'm glad to see so many of you here on such a miserable day. But I'm sure if you've been out in the battlefields, you've been rained on before. But I'm glad to have you here. I'm the mayor of Niota, just elected again for, I don't know, for a few more years. And I'm glad of that. I get to see the veterans both here, and we also support the veterans every time we have an opportunity to. This will be our 4th Veterans Event for this year. And we have several very special people with us this morning, or afternoon. I would like to introduce Mark Cochran, who is our state representative, our new state senator, Adam Lowe, and our county mayor, John Gentry. And we'll start out with, if there is any emergencies, our emergency exits are marked. If it's really bad, you can go through that way. And the restrooms are through that door in the back and to the right. And if you would, please silence your cell phones. And again, welcome to everyone here. And we're just going to start our program with posting of the colors. Post the colors. Remain standing. Our national anthem will be sung by our Niota School Choir. Under the direction of Anna Thompson, and now we'll have a Pledge of Allegiance led by State Senator Adam Lowe.
Salute and pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our invocation will be by John Gentry, County Mayor.
Be honored if you pray with me. Heavenly Father, we just pause today. Lord, we thank you for the rain. Lord, we thank you that you bring this nourishment to the land. Lord, we thank you today, especially that set aside to honor our veterans, Lord. Lord, we just, Lord, just as you sent your Son, Lord, to die for us to bring us freedom, Lord, in that same spirit, Lord, we thank you for veterans that volunteer, Lord, to pay the ultimate price, up to that price, to protect and provide freedoms for us, Lord. And so we're honored today to honor them in this special occasion. Lord, thank you for our children that are here, Lord, that can learn about the willingness of the American soldier, sailor, and airman, Lord, to lay down all to protect the values and the freedoms of this great nation. Lord, we ask you to bless this country. Lord, to continue, Lord, to bless it. Lord, may we live lives that honor you. May we, Lord, have leadership, Lord, that will follow your precepts, Lord, that's set by in your word. That's the true path to success and protection and freedom. Lord, thank you for everyone who's here with us today. Give them traveling mercies on the way home. Be with our soldiers, Lord, all over the world where they're stationed today. Lord, and all the families, Lord, that are sacrificing in their absence. Be with them and give them special comfort. In Christ's holy name we pray. Amen.
You may be seated. And I also want to thank all of our veterans and their families that have missed them while they were gone, and some that still are missing them. And next is Susan Peglow, who's our Veteran Service Officer.
Thank y'all so much. I've got a bigger mouth than everybody else, apparently. You can hear me a little bit louder. I'm going to talk briefly about what I do, and then we're going to do a recognition of branches. My job is to see that you get your benefits. Not just your money, but your health care, your education. You also have housing benefits, you have grants. That's what my job is. My job is to see that you're treated with respect, and I intend to do that. So anybody that knows me knows I have a pretty big, I shouldn't say this, my boss is behind me, but I have a pretty big mouth. Couple things I want to talk about. Yes, I do. He knows that. You know, if it ain't raining, you ain't training. How many of y'all have heard that? We've all done that, right? Been out there pushing up, wading through the water, whatever. But because of that, sometimes you do get disabilities, sometimes you get sick. What I want to address today really quick is the new law that got signed in. It's called the PACT Act. And I bet you've heard it already, but I don't think you know what it is. It opens the doors to veterans and their families, a lot of their families. If you served in Vietnam, Guam, Thailand, off the waterways of these, Korea, if you served at the Bikini Atolls, if you served at any of those things, there's a whole list of presumptive issues that you need to come see me about. If you were in Camp Lejeune as a veteran or a service member or as the family of a service member, you need to come see me. That is something that they have a new law. Now, I know, how many people watch TV in here? Anybody watch TV in here? Everybody watch TV? No? I know you've seen all the ads on the TV for these lawyers, okay? Let me explain to you how that works. You go to a lawyer, they file your claim, they get your money, and you get what's left. If you have already filed a claim with the VA and have been drawing money from the VA, and that lawyer does that, guess what? The VA takes back all the money they ever gave you, they give it to the lawyer, and you're in the debt. So please, before you go see an attorney, come see me. Let me advise you on that. The main one that is really new is the Gulf War veterans. It's guys and gals that have been in Iraq, Afghanistan, Kyrgyzstan, all those areas over there. There's a whole list of issues that people don't think about that is now service connectable. And it's very important that you come address those things because you may be young and healthy now, but we all have that tendency of growing older, so we need to take care of this stuff while we can. Also, it helps your families. If something were to happen, it helps your families. The other thing I want to talk about is we have lots of benefits in our county. A lot of things in our county is going on. We have a food voucher program for people who don't have enough. They've got too much for food stamps, but not enough to quite make it to payday with groceries and medicines. The Elks Lodge has actually sponsored that. So if you'll check with my office, we'll see about getting you some groceries through the Elks Lodge. Through the American Legion and the VFW, we assist with different problems that veterans might have financially. If they maybe have a big issue come up, we do try to help with that as well. Can't always help, but it's one of those things we try to do. Right now, in my office, in my front lobby, guess what? I have a Toys for Tots box. It's empty. Anybody get my look? It's empty. So come see me. Those go to children in East Tennessee. So please, that's a good program. My office hours are 8:30 to 4, Monday through Friday. We do take appointments, but we do take walk-ins. If you walk in, you may have to wait, but we got cookies and coffee, so you can sit there and wait and pass time with the other guys. We also, in our county, have a PTSD support group. PTSD support group meets the first Tuesday night of every month. There's 13 guys in it, and me. Please, it meets at Athens Lutheran Church. If you feel like you just need to chat with somebody, you don't have to wait till then. You can come see me. We can get things taken care of. Or if you want to wait till then and come in and chat, they usually bring cookies and fruits. You get the drift. We military people tend to eat. But don't hold off. Mental health is just as important as your physical health. I explain PTSD like this. You got a splinter in your hand and you don't take it out, what does it do? It festers and makes you sick. PTSD is just a splinter you can't see, okay? So now we are going to recognize the branches. Niota Elementary School has been so kind as to learn these songs, and that's a lot of them. I think I only know my branch really good, and the Marines, because they are always singing. But when you hear your branch, stand up and be proud, okay? So listen up, and if you don't know your branch song, they're actually going to announce it. Go ahead.
Rolling along, up and down, in and out, listen to
Oh, also, you guys were amazing. I've got Vietnam Veterans Day coming up, so don't go far. Okay, I'm always looking for help. While these young people are here, I want you guys to take a chance to talk to them. We complain about the future of our country, but if we don't tell them about ourselves and our past and what we stand for, then somebody's going to tell them the opposite. So this is your opportunity to help our country, our future country, to grow. Okay, that's just my education pitch there. So the next thing I'm supposed to do, and I agreed to do it as long as I wasn't the oldest, I am to recognize the oldest veteran here. So oldest veteran, who is over 75? Anybody here over 75? Ooh, you don't look it. Who here is over 80? You don't look it, but come here. All right, who's over 85? Who's over 90? We're doing an auction here. 90? Oh my gosh. Okay. Woo. Okay, so wait a minute, we ain't done. All right, so I would never ask a lady their age, but what's your age, sir? 87. Joe, what's your age? Okay, you come on up. You won the prize. Come up here. It is a tradition to give a challenge coin. And so, let me give you this challenge coin. Okay, as much as I would love to be the youngest veteran here, I know I'm not. So, who here is 20? Oh, yeah, no, yeah. Say, how about 25? I got any 25ers here? Okay, anybody younger than 25? Hey, come on up. You just put your hand up. You know, you never raise your hand in a military function. You just volunteered yourself. Okay, so these young people, that young man, all you young people out here, you did a great service to your country. Your country owes you a debt that can never be repaid, ever, ever, ever. So please, when somebody says thank you, don't go, oh, it was nothing. It was something. A lot of you missed the birth of your children. A lot of you missed being home for a daughter or a son getting married, or you left and come home and you've lost somebody you love. So when somebody says thank you, take it, because you deserve it. You earned it. And that is it for me. I'm going to hand this off to Jamie.
Thank you, Susan. Thank you to each one. Thank you, Mark, Adam, John, Mayor. Thank you so much. Today we're here to honor each and every veteran present and to show our deepest respect and our sincerest gratitude for the service and the sacrifices you've made for our country and for us. In today's world and the times that we live in, we understand that more often than not, recognition and appreciation are not shown as it should be for those who have made a commitment to their country and to their fellow man, then and now. However, for some, the battle did not end when you returned home from the battlefield, and we want to let you know that we honor, respect, and want to support you as you continue to fight the battle within. Most of us are aware of the program of the awareness and memorializing the 22 a day. And while that is a wonderful program, our goal here today in establishing Alex Scott Lawson Day is to bring awareness to those still here that need our support so that they don't become a part of the 22 a day statistic. To begin, I would like to introduce you to one of the strongest women I know, and I have the honor of calling my dear friend. She is also the mother of Staff Sergeant Alex Scott Lawson. 3.5 years ago, I personally witnessed the tragedy she and her husband Monty, their son Matt, and his wife Crystal have had to endure due to their soldier losing his battle within. This is a tragedy that far too many have suffered through, having had their soldier return from the battlefield only to lose them once home. It is my privilege to introduce you to Niota Tucker.
Thank you, Jean. My name is Niota Tucker, and I'm the proud mother of both a military son and a law enforcement son. For 27 years, our family called Niota home, and we are so grateful for this program that the city has put together. And I want to do a special thank you, Doc. You've just been amazing in what you've done and created. On March 13th, 2019, our family experienced a life-changing tragedy. Our youngest son, Staff Sergeant Alexander Scott Lawson, a highly trained sniper with 6 combat tours under his belt, ended his pain by suicide. Alex was a Christian, a soldier, a son, a brother, nephew, grandson, and a friend. Alex was so loved and so cherished, and he believed in our country. Alex elected to fight for our freedoms and to protect what others before him had fought so hard for. March 13th, 2019 was Alex's end of watch. He was 32. Honoring our veterans by acknowledging their service is one way to appreciate them, but honoring them also means we have a duty to them. It means we must bring awareness to the realities of combat and what our men and women potentially face as they try to handle those realities. It means we must discuss the ugliness of war. Suicide is an ugly truth of war, a word we shy away from, a word ripe with stigma, spoken about in hushed tones. Society has long tossed around the term PTSD as if this is simply a byproduct of war and therefore expected, and we should be able to compartmentalize. Nothing could be further from the truth. Our family is here today to help bring awareness to veteran suicides. We are here to tell you that no one is immune. No family dynamics, no socioeconomic groups, not an education level, race, color, gender. Alex graduated from the University of Tennessee in Knoxville with high honors. To outsiders looking in, he had it all. A great reputation, a strong work ethic, a great sense of humor. He was so funny. Good looks, an education, a family who loved him dearly, and a beautiful home he had purchased for himself in Chattanooga. What we didn't see were the debilitating headaches, the constant pain in his shoulders and back, the ringing in his ears, the loss of joy because his body was failing him. Exercise didn't help him. Pain relievers were not the answer. Alex simply lost hope. He gave his all for our country, and then our country didn't provide him the help he desperately needed. He told us bits and pieces of his injuries, but mainly he sheltered us from his pain. I've asked myself 1,000 times, how could I have missed the signs? How did I not know? I am learning. He didn't want us to know. They don't want to burden us with their suffering. After all, they are brave soldiers who wear their armor proudly. Alex and I talked about everything and anything under the sun, but we didn't talk about this. So what happens when our soldiers are haunted by their experiences, by the memories of the women, children, and men they have killed? The injuries they have sustained and the nightmares they carry with them for a lifetime. Alex asked me the week before if I thought that God forgave him. And I explained that this was never a moral decision. He was doing his job. He was protecting our freedoms. For most, it becomes a silent battle. Counseling is not readily available at our VA offices, and most soldiers avoid admitting they are struggling. There is a stigma attached to asking for help. We heard the news reports, but you just don't think it will happen to you, to your family, to your child. 134 days have passed. 22 suicides per day times 1,334 equals 29,348 suicides. I had to double check the numbers. I can't even fathom that. So what can we do? How do we as family and friends help our soldiers, our loved ones? Suicide. We must be able to talk without the stigma. We must educate ourselves so we grasp that suicide is real. Suicide is ugly. Suicide is an end to their pain. Don't be afraid to say the word suicide. We must check in on our veterans. We must let them know that they are valued, and we will be with them so they don't fight this internal battle alone. We must tell them out. We must be ever vigilant in our fight to save our soldiers, just as they have fought to provide our freedoms. Honor of establishing the Alex Scott Lawson Day, we are deeply humbled. Alex would be a great representation. He was likable. He was friendly. He was a great ambassador. But by doing that also, he shielded us from his pain. It is our deep prayer that by speaking our truth for the other soul. Thank you.
Next, I would like to introduce you to another of the strongest women in my life, and I have the honor to call a dear friend. Doc is the founder of Alex Scott Lawson Day, as she personally understands the struggle and wants to help those who are still fighting. Doc is a U.S. Navy retired hospital corpsman, HM3E4. Served June 1986 through May 1994. She served in Desert Storm and was the recipient of the National Defense Service Medal, Navy Good Conduct Medal, Meritorious Unit Commendation, Navy Unit Commendation, Navy Marine Corps Overseas Service Medal. Again, the privilege is mine to introduce Susan Doc Bradley.
Good afternoon. My name is Susan Rattle. Doc, to those who know me, and I am a retired Navy corpsman. I want to speak to you today about why it was laid on my heart to establish Alex Scott Lawson Day. We can talk about veteran suicide all day long and every day. We can educate the whole world about the warning signs. Teach them how to deal with somebody that's suicide. Teach people to listen when somebody needs to talk, to get them help. But then what? We're improving awareness, and that is truly important. But are we actually stopping a veteran from taking their life? I believe that we must do more. More than help recognize the veterans who are at risk. We must work in order to actually be able to save them. When dealing with veterans, you can't just tell someone they're important, or what they feel bad about doing they shouldn't feel bad about, or give them some kind of job so they can pay their bills or support their family. You can't just help them put a roof over their head or talk to them through a trauma. Those are like standard problems that everybody faces, veteran or not. Dealing with those issues is like following a standard manual. That's why veterans are still choosing suicide. Veterans are not standard people. Those that want so much to stop veteran suicide can't, because they don't understand the reason veterans choose suicide. I want to help them understand so they can better help. They have to understand, excuse me, they have to understand the very heart of what the veteran is feeling, of what they believe. Often the veteran doesn't even understand themselves, so how can they explain? I'm trying to say that they can't. The military isn't just a job or an income. It's not just a career choice. Someone who has served in the military has felt bigger than life, important, immortal. They felt what it's like to be a hero, even when they tell you they're not a hero. They've protected the weak, sheltered the victim, rescued the helpless. They have turned chaos into comfort. They have set rule and order. They have put the broken back together, people and places. They have done what people said couldn't be done, and gone where people said they couldn't go. They have survived the unsurvivable. They woke up every day with a purpose. A huge purpose, something bigger than themselves. They sacrificed everything, themselves, their relationships, their life, their comfort. They sacrificed their finances, their love, their innocence, their youth, their health, everything for something they believed in. For those who aren't able to do that anymore, they feel as though they have lost their purpose in life. Veterans are killing themselves because they feel like their life is already over anyway. They believe they are already dead. So how do we fix that? How do we make them feel alive again? There may not be anything that can replace that exact feeling for them again. However, there are ways to bring back purpose. There are ways to allow them to continue protecting and providing order to the world around them. We can allow them to utilize their skill sets that they honed then and there for the here and now. Veterans are an invaluable resource, unlike any other out there, and so many are being set aside or overlooked due to their current state of mind. For some, it may take baby steps to bring them back to a sound, productive life. But given the opportunity and patience, many would be astounded at what a veteran can do and will do to survive the battle within. What veterans need is to know that they are still needed, that they still have a purpose, and that they have a support system around them to provide them with the opportunity to continue to be a hero, to serve and to protect. I know this to be factual, as I am a testament to these words. I have fought for many years to not only understand my own battle, but to learn from it what others are desperately needing. It's by the grace of God and those who have stood beside me that I stand here today, speaking for those who could not speak for themselves and lost their battle, and for those who are still fighting to overcome. Thank you for being here today and showing your gratitude and your support.
The first will be presented by Susan Doc Ratliff as she established this day. And then the second will be by our State House Representative Mark Cochran from the state of Tennessee, and they will be presented to their family.
I'm going to be reading a proclamation. While I read it, there will be a sound video coming up here on the screen. In this video, you're going to see 34 men and women veterans. Each of them volunteered to join the military and put their life on the line for us. Each of them survived the battlefield and returned home, leading the service and attempting to go on with their lives. Each of them lost their battle within. Today is a day to celebrate the lives and loss of U.S. Americans who served our country but were unable to survive their mental and emotional wounds. A day when all Americans should have time off work and take time out of their lives to come together and remember and honor the men and women of our country that volunteered to sign their name, making a promise to do whatever it takes to defend the American people. Most people never understood their battle continued even after their service to our country ended. It should be a somber day of honor and remembrance of the lives lost, not on the battlefield, but right here at home. America loses 22 American veterans a day to suicide. These men and women should never be forgotten. They gave everything to our country and for our country, and then came home severely broken, and could never be erased. They saw things no human should ever see. They felt things no human should ever have to feel. They fought their hardest, gave their all, and trained rigorously with them, learned from them, protected them, went into battle with them, and often held them in their arms as they watched them die. They committed to doing the hardest work there is, willingly giving up their youth, their health, sacrificing relationships, and missing out on watching their children grow. And in the end, they lost their battle with life as well. They sacrificed their own freedoms to protect ours. They didn't fight out of hate for the enemy in front of them, but rather love for the ones beside them, the ones behind them. We need to always remember them, their pain, and the ones they left behind. The family they left behind needs a time and place to come together and remember these very special humans, the ones they raised, the ones they formed and encouraged to be strong, the ones they taught to make a stand for what they believe in, the ones they loved dearly. The survivors that will forever have a dark spot, a large empty hole in their heart, a sharp pain in their chest, because these men and women are gone. It should be a somber day of honor and remembrance of the lives lost, not on the battlefield, but right here at home. The struggle and horrific pain that these strong men and women often kept hidden inside. There should be testimony from other veterans of how it is a lifelong battle. The public should be educated about depression and suicide. There should be an outreach to help others sitting on the edge, a gathering of hurt souls, broken hearts, and shattered spirits, a gathering of friends and loved ones paying tribute to these special people. There should be a roll call of names of veterans who lost their battle within, along with a brief history on who they were as an individual. Taps should be played, as well as other songs. There should be opportunities to not only mourn their loss, but also celebrate their life. An opportunity for survivors to meet other survivors and share their stories, to draw support from one another.
This is a National Day proclamation. This certificate hereby states that November 17th of each calendar year is officially designated as National Alex Scott Lawson Day. Submitted by Susan Ratliff in May 2022, in accordance with the policy set forth, this proclamation has been certified by the National Day of Archives. Seize your day. Please remain. Mark.
Thank you very much. To honor the sacrifice and the service of veterans in this room, but really to bring awareness to issues that you face when you come back home. Staff Sergeant Lawson volunteered to serve as representatives, and so if you'll bear with me for just a moment, I will share that with you. Whereas our nation was conceived by individuals who were willing to sacrifice their personal safety and concerns to ensure our individual and collective freedom, and countless citizens of Tennessee have, throughout the years, answered the call to defend our nation via military service. And whereas one such gallant patriot was Staff Sergeant Alex Scott Lawson of the United States Army, whose family, he was a faithful member of Jacksboro United Methodist Church. It is important that we remember the sacrifices of Staff Sergeant Lawson and the countless others who were unable to survive their mental and emotional wounds. Sadly, the United States loses 22 veterans each day to suicide. And Staff Sergeant Lawson and his fellow veterans should not be forgotten and should be appropriately honored and remembered on November 17th every year. That we honor the memory of Staff Sergeant Alexander Scott Lawson of the United States Army, reflecting upon his impeccable character and stalwart commitment to living the examined life with courage and conviction. We extend our profound condolences to his families for the loss of this valiant American and Tennessee hero.
I just let God lead me, and from my heart, I'm going to speak to you today. So, in 2019, I had my third Hero Mobile in Murphy, North Carolina, and I was in the Veterans Day Parade, and I had met just two mothers of veteran suicide previous. It was on this same tour, and I was told about my mom, Niota, and I had asked if she would come and speak with me, and at the time, she wasn't quite ready, and I didn't know what to say to her. I worry about my own kid every single day, and I have for 13 years. And I told Niota, though, anytime you would like to just come and visit me, please come. And I can give you some love, we can go to the beach, anything I can do to try to bring you some comfort and some cheer. And she called me up right before the 1-year angelversary of Alex, and she asked if she and Monty could come and stay with me. She wanted to stay in the RV. That Friday, that day, 1 year, we sat for about 5 hours on my couch, and because of Niota and her story, and her pain and her grief, I wanted to do something to help the moms, because I'm not a mom of suicide, and I wanted to offer her peer support. So I started this group, and Randy and I have been traveling the country meeting the families. veteran suicide. We have met the mothers, the fathers, the spouses, the children. We have 5 moms in our group that are raising their small grandchildren. We have been to the cemeteries. We have been anything that we can do. And these stories and these moms are what drives me to try to help save veteran lives. We also try to help first responders. Many of our first responders are also veterans. And so, Randy and I will travel the country. We have, with our nonprofit, we try to raise money to help pay for counseling. We'll do adventure therapy. In May, we did a retreat for the moms, and we had 8 moms at our house in St. Mary's, Georgia. We will do whatever we can. We literally slept right here last night in pouring rain. The dogs are soaking wet. There's a train that apparently passes here in the evening. And actually, when Niota asked me to come, we were supposed to be in Ocala, Florida with the RV and the Veterans Day Parade. And when Niota asked us, I said, absolutely, we're dropping everything we're doing, and we want to be here to support your community. Today we have 2 mothers in my group, and it's an honor to be here. I want to thank every veteran here for their services and sacrifices. We have now heard thousands of stories. We go to events all over the country, and we just want to tell you that you're not alone. We want you to live. We want you to stay. We want you to stay with us. If Randy and I can help you in any way, we wanted all the veterans to sign the RV today. It's a little too wet for that. I do have a table set up. I'm carrying some of the names of the mothers' children with us. They travel with us all over the country. Their children's names are on the back of our RV. And just to meet a family member will touch you. But we want you to know, to all veterans of all ages, we've heard so many stories, and we want you to know that we love and care for you. If there's anything that we can do for you, we will do whatever we can. We want you to fight, and we want you to stay with us. And I just want to thank you all. Thank you, my husband, because I do drag him all over the country. And we've had quite a few challenges, but if you have a loved one also that you are concerned about, please come and see us. We have a lot of tools to help with post-traumatic stress and suicidal ideation. Please pray for the families. We sit with the moms. I bring them in the RV. We sit with the veterans. We've heard so much, and it's not easy. But we will do whatever we can to do whatever it is. So if we can help in any way, you 2 moms, family over here, we're here for you, and we love you very much, and we're always here for you. Please stay. We just want you to stay. God bless you all.